Hi readers, Lee here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to my weekend books. I've got 9 books to talk about this week, and if I'm going to be honest, this is only half of the books that I bought, so I will do another weekend books either later this week or next week. It doesn't matter, the books just keep coming in. Anywho, so this first book that I want to talk about is not one that I had planned to buy so soon or that I intend to read anytime soon. And that book is Young Mungo by Douglas Stuart. I recently finished Shuggie Bain, his other book, and that was such a raw book that I'm just not ready for that kind of despair again. However, I did like the writing, and I definitely do want to read Young Mungo. I've just got to put some space between Shuggie Bain and Young Mungo. Young Mungo is a brilliantly constructed and deeply moving story of queer love and working class families by the Booker Prize winning author of Shuggie Bain. Growing up in a housing estate in Glasgow, Mungo and James are born under different stars. Mungo is a Protestant and James a Catholic, and they should be sworn enemies. I'm not sure what's going on hope you can't hear that, that's outside. Yet against all odds, they fall in love as they find sanctuary and dream of escape in the pigeon dovecote that James has built for his prize racing birds. But this is weird to me, but when Mungo's mother sends him on a fishing trip to a remote loch with 2 strange men, he'll need all his strength and courage to find his way back to a place where he and James might still have a future. I'm not sure why she sent him off with 2 strange men. So, this is gonna be one that I read, but it is gonna take a minute before I can get to it. Next book is another book about World War II. This is based on the classic British TV series The World at War, which you can find on YouTube. Because it's not available for sale anywhere I could find. This is an oral history that's based on that classic series, The World at War, and it's about World War II, which you know I love that. So this is just all oral histories. It's got some pictures, and sets out to tell the story of the war through the testimony of key participants. From civilians to ordinary soldiers, from statesmen to generals. First broadcast in 1973, the result was a unique and irreplaceable record since many of the eyewitnesses captured on film did not have long to live. I have watched a couple episodes of it. It's really long, so I have not gotten through it, but definitely going to be a reference book. Okay. I was going to say if I had a theme going on here with these picks, but it's not an overwhelming theme. However, this one is similar to Young Mungo, and in that Swimming in the Dark by Tomasz Jedrowski is about 2 gay men in Poland. I gotta grab my glasses for this. When university student Ludwik meets Janusz, I'm terrible at Polish pronunciation, at a summer agricultural camp, he is fascinated yet wary of this handsome, carefree stranger. But a chance meeting by the river soon becomes an exhilarating and all-consuming affair. The pair spend a dreamlike few weeks together in the countryside, inhabiting a beautiful, natural world removed from society and its constraints. But their repressive communist and Catholic society the passion they share is utterly unthinkable. Once they return to Warsaw, Janusz quickly rises in the political ranks of the party and is awarded a coveted government position. Ludwig is drawn toward impulsive acts of protest, unable to ignore the stark economic disparity around them. Their secret love and personal and political differences slowly begin to tear them apart as both men struggle to survive in a regime on the brink of collapse. I love reading about other cultures, and I've not had a chance to go to Poland yet, I certainly won't be able to go to Poland in the 1980s. Don't know very much about Polish history, particularly post-World War II. I don't know very much about it pre-World War II either. So I think this will be a fascinating read. And I look forward to getting to it. I hope it's not as dark as the Douglas Stuart books. So, next, moving on, in college was when I really read short stories because that's what was assigned to us. And one of my favorite short stories is Joyce Carol Oates' Where Are You Going, Where Have You Been? But I've not read any that I remember of her novels. So I picked up We Were the Mulvaneys. And this book gave me big Wolf at the Table vibes. I read that. I think it's by Adam Rapp. I read that earlier this year. And it was about a serial killer. And it's really a family drama. In We Were the Mulvaneys, the Mulvaneys are blessed by all that makes life sweet. A hardworking father, a loving mother, 3 fine sons, and a bright, pretty daughter. They are confident in their love for one another and their position in the rural community of Mount Ephraim, New York. But something happens on Valentine's Day, 1976. An incident that is hushed up in town and never spoken of in the Mulvaney home that rends the fabric of their family life, with tragic consequences. It is the youngest son, Judd, now an adult, who attempts to reclaim his family's past by documenting their history and what seemed a special gift for happiness. The many secrets they kept from one another threatened to destroy them, but ultimately, We Were the Mulvaneys celebrates the miracles that allow a family to bridge the chasms that open up between them and to reunite in the spirit of love and healing. I've been reading a lot of family dramas, family sagas this year. I do want to read this and want to get an Oates novel under my belt. So I look forward to that. This next one was shortlisted for the 2020 Booker Prize. This is also about families. And I want to read you just a little bit from the beginning of it. I'll tell you what it is in a little bit. I would be lying if I said my mother's misery has never given me pleasure. I suffered at her hands as a child, and any pain she subsequently endured appeared to me to be a kind of redemption, a rebalancing of the universe, where the rational order of cause and effect aligned. But now, I can't even the tally between us. And thus begins Burnt Sugar by Avni Doshi. This is a love story and a story about betrayal. Not between lovers, but between a mother and daughter. In her youth, Tara was wild. She abandoned her arranged marriage to join an ashram, embarked on a stint as a beggar, mostly despite her affluent parents, and spent years chasing a homeless artist, all with little Antara in tow. But Tara is forgetting things, and Antara is an adult, an artist and married, and must confront the task of caring for a woman who never cared for her. In vivid and visceral prose that is as sharp as a blade and laced with caustic wit, Avni Doshi tells a story at once shocking and empathetic, a journey into shifting memories and the subjective nature of truth. Burnt Sugar is the stunning and unforgettable debut of a major new voice in contemporary fiction. And those first lines, guys, they grabbed me. This is going to go up there to read soon. Alrighty. If you guys watch my channel, you know I'm an avid watcher of Greg at Supposedly Fun's channel. At the Supposedly Fun channel. And I get a lot of recommendations from him. I really need to stop watching him because I'm buying too many books. But, till that time, I did buy on his recommendation Hombrecito by Santiago Jose Sanchez. I'm really diving deep into the young gay men, sorrow, and hard life stories this month. Santiago Jose Sanchez plunges us into the heart of one boy's life. His mother takes him and his brother from Colombia to America, leaving their absent father behind, but disappearing herself once they get to Miami. As he grows, the boy embraces his queerness as wholeheartedly as he embraces his new home, but not without a sense of loss. His relationship with his mother becomes fraught, tangled, a love so intense that it borders on vivid pain, but is also the axis around which his every decision revolves. As a young man, he ducks in and out of bed with different men, seeking something or someone. When his mother invites him to visit family in Colombia with her, he returns, trying to find peace with his father, with his homeland, with who he's become since he left, and with who his mother is. We come to know her and her secrets, her complex ambivalence about and fierce love. Okay, that's it. So this should be interesting. I've not read any books set in or about Colombia that I can remember, and I'm interested to read this. Soon, maybe soon. 3 more books to talk about. This next book I was not going to get, but again, Greg from Supposedly Fun, I saw this on his bookshelf. I was not a huge fan of Rebecca Mackay's I Have Some Questions for You. I liked it, it was fine, but I just was not as enamored of it as everybody else seemed to be. But I did pick up The Great Believers. I'll give her another chance. It could just be that one book didn't work for me for whatever reason. In The Great Believers, set in 1995, Yale Tishman is about to pull off an amazing coup, bringing in an extraordinary collection of 1920s paintings as a gift to the gallery where he works. Yet, as his career begins to flourish, the carnage of the AIDS epidemic grows around him. One by one, his friends are dying, and after his friend Nico's funeral, the virus circles closer and closer to Yale himself. Soon, the only person he has left is Fiona, Nico's little sister. 30 years later, Fiona is in Paris, tracking down her estranged daughter. While staying with an old friend, a famous photographer who documented the Chicago crisis, she finds herself finally grappling with the devastating ways AIDS affected her life. These two intertwining stories take us through the heartbreak of the 80s and the chaos of the modern world, as both Yale and Fiona struggle to find goodness in the middle of disaster. I turned 15 in 1985, and I was aware peripherally of what was going on with AIDS. We don't have the internet. We didn't have the internet back then like we do now, so it was only like on the corner of my awareness. I did not have anyone that I knew personally who had it, but I do remember that time, and so I am looking forward to giving this book a shot really soon. Although, again, I need to get some perkier reads because a lot of these are really heavy. Not down, but heavy, and just, it's been a chaotic year, decade anyway, and I want to try to find some books that are less depressing. This one may be it. That is Kate Quinn's The Briar Club. I've read The Alice Network and a couple of others by Kate Quinn, and I do enjoy her books. Those ones I've read are set in World War II. This one is not. It is set in Washington, D.C. in 1950, where everyone keeps to themselves at Briarwood House, a down-at-the-heels, all-female boarding house in the heart of the nation's capital, where secrets hide behind the white picket fences. But when the lovely, mysterious widow, Grace March, moves into the attic room, she draws her oddball collection of neighbors into an unlikely friendship. Poised English beauty Fliss, whose facade of perfect wife and mother covers gaping inner wounds, policeman's daughter Nora, who finds herself entangled with a shadowy gangster, frustrated baseball star B, whose career has come to an end along with the Women's Baseball League of World War II, and poisonous, gung-ho Arlene, who has thrown herself into McCarthy's Red Scare. Grace's weekly attic room dinner parties and window-brewed sun tea become a healing balm on all their lives, but she hides a terrible secret of her own. What can it be? When a shocking act of violence tears the house apart, the Briar Club women must decide once and for all, who is the true enemy in their midst. I'm looking forward to this a lot. I almost didn't get it because I was outside of my head or something, but I'm really looking forward to this, and I think I will try to push this up on my TBR. Finally, I have no idea why I bought this book. I saw it probably on the tube of you, and that final book, another family saga. What is going on with me this year? That is Claire Messud's This Strange Eventful History. Apparently this year I'm going to read about families. Good, bad, and ugly. Over 7 decades from 1940 to 2010, the Piedmont Hussars live in an itinerant state, separated in the chaos of World War II, running from a complicated colonial homeland, and after Algerian independence, without a homeland at all. This strange eventful history, told with historical sweep, is above all a family story. Of patriarch Gaston and his wife Lucienne, whose myth of perfect love sustains them and stifles their children. Of Francois and Denise, devoted siblings connected by their family's strangeness. Of Francois' union with Barbara. Okay, they're siblings. A woman so culturally different they can barely comprehend one another. Of Chloe, the result of that union, who believes that telling these buried stories will bring them all peace. Interesting. Again, a different culture. Algeria, don't know much about. And this is a long one. This is, just over 400 pages, so it's not that long. But I guess I've figured out the theme for 2024, and that is families, stories, dramas, sagas, whatever. Anywho, that is all of the books I'm going to talk about today. I gotta figure out what I'm going to do for Tuesday's episode. If you've got any comment or ideas, or if you have any ideas for anything, any kind of book-related thing that you would like me to talk about, please leave me a comment down in the comment section, because I'm not running out of ideas, but I really would like to focus on some more themes and to engage more with the audience. That's it for me right now. Happy reading!